Y'all, I got something that I want to talk about for the time being. Um, Second class citizens. That's what I name it. Second class citizen. Now, when you think of second class citizens, you think of the so-called people of color, right? Now, when you look at the so-called mainly the Europeans, although we do have all the other nations like the Japanese, Hold on, wait. Oh, y'all, I gotta get up. All right, wait a minute. The camera wouldn't work. I kept trying to keep it on there, but this one here gave it better quality. But obviously, I'm not gonna be able to use it. Y'all notice that they have a lot of. I don't know if they have TVs, refurbished TVs, but I do know they have refurbished electronic devices like computers, phones, and iPhones, and iPhone 6, iPhone 11, things like that. You know what I mean? Now, black people, us as a people of color, they consider us in the second amendment or either the third amendment. I know I'm thinking the second amendment. Three-fifths of a three slash fifths of a human being. We have always have been considered that. You know what I mean? Now, in the first constitutional right, they claim freedom of speech. But if you think about it, if you try to leave here without out of the U.S. Babylon, America, without a passport, they gonna bring you back in chains. That's what they gonna do. They gonna bring your ass back in chains. So you're not free riding here because still the so-called white man they get they have all the access to everything. They have access to they can cut the trees down. They can go on your property and they can do what they want to do. They can come in your community. They can shoot, kill. Nothing can be done about it. They can do all those things. Now, when you look at so-called white kids, which is the devil that the Bible speaks of, so-called white people, you look at them, they can afford the world. Because who controls this world? Esau do. Esau is the number one race of people that control everything. We got to be second class citizens. We got to pay for everything. You shouldn't have to pay for no damn water, all that kind of shit. When water is free, come out the ground, that's crazy. Like the trees. If them dirty bastards can charge you for the night and day, they would. If they can charge you for the rain that falls out the sky, them dirty white bastards would. So-called dirty white bastards. But You want to come on here and tell us who channel y'all take down that uh you want to shut people's channels down, all that kind of stuff. But people want to jump on here and jump on the bandwagon and say that if white folks were so damn like racist, they would come after you and be ready to kill. Hell, they already done did it. They do it every day. Police brutality proves that. Brutality shows nothing, says a lot. They harassing us. We've been harassed for ever since 1619, before 1619, when Christopher Columbus came over here, and that's been decades ago. So we got to go and buy everything cheap while they afford this kingdom. They already got this world. The world is in their hands, but they take what they control and they make us slaves. They work out people slaves. We still slaves here in America. What's that disease called? Mentally ill. All those things associated with slavery because they want to. Are they not going around talking about she mentally ill, he mentally ill, this and that and the third? Well, guess what? Before the Europeans came over here, we didn't have none of those diseases over here. We didn't have none of that shit over here. Those diseases was dumped off into our community. Now we fucking hate each other. They got our people hating each other. We can't even say nothing to our own neighbors. We're not even comfortable with our own neighbors no more because these dirty motherfuckers come over here and they just keep in this generation after generation. They repeated the same sins that they forefathers even to this day. They are. But we got to be second class citizens and we got to walk around and be like, well, we got to go receive stuff furbished. Furbished means they repair. You can't go and just buy the shit brand new, just like cars. Don't they do cars the same way? You can buy a car refurbished. They take it, they refix the cars up, and then they sell them to you. Although you do get what you want and it look brand new, but the so-called white man, they can go and purchase something that never been used. You see what I'm saying? But they swap us. You got stuff that be used for 3, 4, 5 years. Although they take and they add and fix them up and put brand new parts on them and all that kind of stuff. You just might as well just give the refurbished stuff away. Now, if they was doing something like uh refurbishing it and giving them away free, that's what they should do. That would be good. But now if they want to say, okay, now if it's brand new and you want to sell it, that to me, that's good. That's all right. But that's just me. That's just my concept. This is just something that I'm coming up with. You see what I'm saying? Uh the refurbished stuff, in my opinion, no, the refurbished stuff, without a shadow of a doubt, in my mind, most of the world not going to agree with me on this here. I might be, you know what I mean? They not going to agree with me, on my, but from what I see, stuff that is refurbished, it should go to the poor people of color. All of us as a people of color. That's what they should change it into. Say now, if you're not a person of color and you're not poor and you're not living in the hood, just like we living in the hood, that stuff should go to help them. The refurbished stuff for free. But see, the so-called white man, they need they what they need to be doing is selling stuff real high to their people, not to us, but more than likely, no, not more than likely, but it's not in their nature to do that. But most of us as people of color, we agree to the so-called white man refurbishing and stuff and selling our own people something less cheap, but something that's real high or something like that. Most of black people is in on it with the white man. They taking part in his agreement, what he's doing. Even though the people who worked hard and built those things up brand new or whatever. You see what I'm saying? They don't care. They just trying to make money. Even though those things come handy and all these things come handy or whatever, and things of that nature. A lot of they still use it to their advantage. From what it does, because look, you have to understand this: the so-called white man was on the planet when he first came on the planet from the very start. He was created to be wicked, and if a person is created to be wicked, they never going to be make a fair deal with you, just like they did with the Native American Indians. They came over here and they stole everything from them. Now, if they refuse to make things right with the Native American Indians and they tricked them and took their land, what make you think in this year, in this day and age, they call 2020, that the so-called white man is going to make a fair contract with you? They would never make a fair contract with you. And nothing. They may say, well, I didn't do that. My forefathers did it. They still are they you as a so-called white man, white woman, white child, whatever, you all are still your forefathers. So whatever y'all forefathers did, how they tricked the Native American Indians and made a contract which was a false contract, and then y'all ancestors took and killed and tricked a lot of the Native American Indians, killed them off the planet, and that cycle is continuing today. That will never. The Bible says that Esau, the so-called white man, have an everlasting, perpetual hatred. A none. It's not a never-ending. It's gonna all. They gonna always hate. When it says a perpetual hatred, that means that's a none-ending hatred. So, what make you think your enemy, who you think quote unquote love you, is going to be fair with you? They will never be fair with you because it's not in their nature. Even though they give some people of color a lot of wealth. But look what they have to do. They have to sell their own people out. Look at Bill Cosby. No matter what a so-called white man do for you, at the end of the day, he said, okay, nigga, I'm going to give you all this stuff. But when you mess up, when you mess up and do wrong, I'm just sitting back waiting on your ass to do wrong. And then when you do wrong, I'm going to knock your kingdom down. I have the power is to set your kingdom up. That's the way the so-called white man look at it. I have the power is to set your kingdom up, and I have power to bring that motherfucker down. So you fuck up one time, man of color, I'm taking all that shit. I'm just saying. Think about that. They don't give a damn about you. We are considered second class citizens. Anything that you got to get, although we do, because we live in like that, we live in under these authorities and all that kind of stuff, that let you know, man, to this day, we still not fucking free. We got to go receive stuff we can't even afford because we got to go for refurbished stuff. What do you think that is? That represents second class citizens. All of those things characterized and category is in the category of second class citizens. Can't afford to receive things. Now the nation that is above, they can receive, they got everything. Because the Job 9 and 24 said the earth is given unto the hands of the wicked. If you look around and look at in the so-called White House and places like that, look at the nation of people, the main race of people, anybody can say this in, that's running this world right now. The so-called white man is running this world. And the Bible says, surely oppression will make a wise man mad, right? Now, if you're not wise, if you're wise, then you're going to be pissed off at this shit, the condition that you see your people in. Now, if you ain't mad and you want to sit around and say, stop blaming the white man, that means your ass ain't wise. If you're saying, stop blaming the white man, hell, we have a right. We can't blame them for what their forefathers done because they are their forefathers. They are the product of their forefathers. They are their forefathers. So why not? Why would you not blame them? Of course, it's their fault. The time, the day and age and the time period that we live in now is no different from. We still dealing with the same issues. Look at George Floyd. Who else? Tamir Rice, Sandra Bland, Eric Garner, Mike Brown. Dylan Root went into a church in 2015 and shot and killed 9 black people in cold blood. The list goes on and on. Several people they done killed. You see what I'm saying? Emmett Till now is no different from what Emmett Till, what he went through. We still dealing with the same issues to this day. We still dealing with the same. How do I know that? We live over here in the hood. We live over here in the hood. These are no mansions we living in. If you ask each one, are we living happy right now? Most we act like we happy. We may be content. A lot of us have got immune to living in slavery. Yes. A lot of us have got so immune to living like this here until we take it up for the white man. Why would you take up for a devil like that? Why would you take up for think about it? Would your friend put you in slavery? That's just like our people that we're conditioned to go back into the same. Even though we know that that woman don't love you, or that man don't, even though that woman know that that man don't love her, she's still willing to go back in that condition and be willing to be mistreated while he turn around and while she turn around and go and fuck other men, while you at home being a faithful dude taking care of your kids. Same thing with the woman. You at home taking care of the kids, the family, cooking and cleaning all that shit. He out there fucking multiple of women while she at home being a good woman of the house. All these things is a result of slavery, man. And see, this is how we feel when we come to the so-called white man. In spite of how this man treat us, they done programmed and conditioned us is to be like this toward each other. That's why we did all these things that we do. It's just like being in an abusive relationship. We get abused for so long until we become immune to it. That's what happens. We get immune to it. Yeah, we that's exactly what's happening to us. Yep, we get so immune to it until we'll go back into it. We trying to speak to them even though we know they don't mean us so damn good. Same thing with our kids. We don't even raise our fucking kids right because we are conditioned is no matter what our kids do, we don't have to train them. We just go and we just go and provide for them in some kind of way. It's gonna like take away the evil that they're doing. That's what's gonna happen. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, that's how we are. No matter, and that, that's what I'm trying to tell you now. See, we are so conditioned. We're very conditioned. No matter what our kids do, no matter what they do, we still go and we run and we try to take care of them, even though we know they beating the shit out of us, beating the hell out of us day in and day out, going in and out of jail. Don't give a fuck. You see what I'm saying? We know that our kids don't give a damn. Yep. But we still walk around here and we still accept it. And see, this is how Esau them programmed us. See, before when they came over here and they did what they did to us, when they came over here and did what they did to us. All right, what's up, brother? All right, yeah, yeah. That's one of my next door neighbors. Yeah. See, well, we have a little something. You know what I mean? But I'm here to tell you, man. Um, the list goes on, and then we see it's a repeated cycle because they done condition us. They done condition our people is to like, well, you got to learn how to be grateful and this and that and the third. Yeah, they done condition our people to say, well, just learn how to be grateful with what you have. Things of that nature. And Esau done condition our minds is to, well, that makes sense. And that's why we go and we say, well, we can get it a little cheaper. Sometimes we got to look deeply into things. Sometimes we got to look deeper into it and look and see why that condition is like that. You know? Um, yeah. So that's how we are, man. But we got to get out. We got to get out of a situation like that. We got to uh, realize that we are kings and queens. We got to realize we are royal people, and we came from something better than that. So don't walk around accepting less. Accept the best. This video is all about second class citizens. Second class citizen. That's what it's all about. And we follow along with that because see, you have to remember when the white man came over here, Christopher Columbus, killing Columbus, uh, Conquistadors. Christopher Columbus was a Spaniard, and before they even enslaved the minds of the natives over here, do you know that our people had some real get ups about themselves? We didn't consider ourselves less than bitches, whores, and all this kind of stuff. We didn't consider ourselves to be none of that. We wouldn't dare call ourselves nothing like that. We saw ourselves better than that. But when they came over here and made a contract, a false contract with the natives, they tricked them and they took their land. And once they did that, then they started beating into us their culture. They beat the Esau's way of thinking into us. They literally beat our people, throw them off. Some they fed to alligators, and that messed a lot of our people's minds up. And it just started just creating. And then when they not only did they do that, they came over here with AIDS. They bought all this stuff and poured that into our community, mentally ill AIDS, all that kind of stuff. Then they started taking over. That's why the Bible tells you never trust your enemy. Never trust thy enemy. No matter what good or whatever they do for you, don't you never trust them. So I'll be back and we're going to talk some more about this a little bit later on. I'm going to say I love my people of color and I'll see y'all later.